Good morning, everyone. Kate and Fiona here. Let me get you back up. Going live as we always do every Wednesday. We've just jumped off a Q&A session with our 10-day confidence challenges, which has been awesome. I think, Fee, when we thought about doing the free 10-day challenge, we kind of just went, oh yeah, let's do it. But it's been phenomenal in terms of the feedback we've received. You know, everyone's matched with a coach and we're checking in, and gosh, the insights, reflections, the shifts are huge.
Yeah, it's just fascinating, this work, Kate. Ever since we've started unpacking, playing, working with confidence, it is such a powerful, powerful piece, and it runs deep. And what's really fascinating is how people, given the right environment and a place they feel safe enough, will actually go quite deep quite quickly around some of the stuff that's possibly holding them back, some of the stuff that's getting in the way of them actually being able to show up, you know, confident, clear, able to do what they want to do. So I'm just continually encouraged by the fact that this is so universal. We've all got some of it running in us. We've all got it going on. And also how powerful the principles are for everyone who comes along and gets involved.
Yeah. And so we are doing, because we capped it at 100, we had a whole bunch of waitlisters. And so we are opening up another challenge next Monday, the 22nd of June. So the link will be below in the comments. If you're interested to sign up, again, we'll cap it again at 100 so that we can really show up and serve you guys. So if that's of interest, I'd highly encourage you to step in, lean in. Absolutely, there'll be moments of discomfort. Some of the feedback we've gotten is, some of the things that have landed have been, I wasn't quite prepared for that. And even if it's interesting, even if you feel like you've kind of got the confidence thing nailed, I think it's really useful. We were just saying, there was a few people in the Q&A breakout session who were just kind of saying, I kind of thought I had it nailed. And then, you know, there was a piece around comparing myself to others, or, you know, my relationship with fear, and, you know, how that stops me making decisions or taking action as well. But enough about that. Today we continue our theme on, you know, raising your personal brand. So far we've talked about why build brand. And last week we talked about, you know, what is it you want to be known for? This kind of starting to craft out or create this brand, I guess, statement, brand map of what you want to be known for, knowing that it's always a work in progress. So today we want to talk about this piece around, who do you need to be known by? Now, I always talk about, what do you need to be known for? Who do you need to be known by to achieve your professional goals? And so this is really important, because this leads into the conversation we're going to have next week, which is how do you start to raise your profile? It's one thing to build brand, but if people don't know about you, right, you're not really building brand, but you're certainly not raising profile. And it really talks to the return on investment of why investing in personal brand is so critical.
Yeah, this piece is so fascinating, because it's like we kind of got a sense of who that should be on one level. And yet when we really start to think about it, it's actually usually there's a broader application. There's more people than we would think. And it also is important to think about in what context. So for what purpose and in what relationships is it going to be important for people to understand what I'm about, what it is I bring, what it is I contribute, and how they might be able to support us, to encourage us to take opportunities, but also to open doors for us that maybe wouldn't be open in other situations. So it can be a little bit uncomfortable to actually go, you know, if in a perfect world, if I could be known, if I had a personal brand, if I had some presence, if people were noticing me, what would be different? What would be going on? And who is it that would know that I'm here and about what I'm doing?
Yeah, and this really talks to chapter 5 of the book, Build Relationships, sponsors, mentors, and peers, around how are you making sure that the people that need to know who you are, the value you bring, the problems you solve in your organization and outside your organization. This is not just an internal network piece. This is an external network piece as well. But how are you making sure that those people that need to know about you do know about you? And this is a really important piece around conscious creation and conscious brand activation. Some people, your boss naturally knows about you and what you do, your strengths and the wins that you're having. But there's other people in the organization who, perhaps don't. One of the best pieces, I guess the questions I always ask around personal brand is, you're sitting in a room, your 5 of your key stakeholders are sitting in the room in 12 months' time. What are they saying about you? How do they describe you? And we want that to be, number one, we want them to have an opinion, and we want them to have an informed opinion rather than a relied upon opinion of perhaps your boss, which can be super dangerous if people move on as well. We've seen that happen where everyone's had, they've relied too heavily on one relationship and that person's moved on, and all expectations and opportunities of promotion have absolutely gone with that leader because, other stakeholders in the business haven't been closely connected with, what individuals' skills, capabilities, experience, contribution has been. So I think without a doubt, this can feel uncomfortable. It means, and this is where it really talks to, I think, the confidence stuff. It means talking about ourselves. It means making sure the right people know the right things about us so that they can start supporting us to achieve our professional goals. And that means talking about yourself. That means advocating for yourself. Here's the thing. If you don't, no one will. And there are, the odd times where we hear stories where, people have got incredible sponsors in organizations and they've absolutely kind of climbed their way to the top because they've had great sponsors and mentors who have kind of said, you should apply for this role, you should apply for this role, and really advocated and supported them for them. But what's interesting is it's left me thinking, how do we do that for ourselves? Yes, that's fantastic. And we want to be strategic around how we get people doing that for us, but we also need to do that for ourselves. And we also need to make sure that the right people know about us so that they can step out and support us.
Yeah, there's so many powerful ways to think about this. And I love that piece, Kate, about getting conscious, because this is the goal, really. It sits alongside, this piece about too many women are relying on working hard, doing the right thing, contributing in their own way, head down, tail up. They're busy working and doing great work, and nobody knows. As maybe a few people in your team, maybe your boss. But it's just too high risk. You need to make sure that other people are aware of all you're contributing and what you're doing. And, that's why we talked about what do you want to be known for, and who needs to, and we're talking about who needs to know, because these things go together. And if you've got people in your world, both internally and externally, who don't know what it is you're contributing, who don't know the great work you're doing, who don't know how your input to a situation is actually changing the conversation, it's actually making it better, it's making it more informed. That's really important. And we too often, I think, just want the work to do the work without thinking about how am I showing up, and where can I have more influence? Where can people see me more visually? And sometimes it's important to go outside your organization to do that, to take those opportunities in your industry, in forums, to actually speak up, to have a place, volunteer for a committee, be part of something, so that you start to get practiced at sharing more about what it is you do and how you contribute.
Yeah, and I think the only other tip I'd suggest to people is, if you're not sure who, then ask. Ask a trusted friend, mentor. Who do you think, would be really useful for me to get to know? Who I would benefit from them knowing a little bit more about the value I bring to the organisation, the problems I solve. And so, if you don't know, ask someone who might know. Who do you know who might know? Who perhaps are the key stakeholders who you could start to really build a relationship. Without a doubt, current dynamics say it's not as easy as kind of just running into someone in a hallway and starting a conversation. But there are ways around that. And so I think, and that includes, working on putting your hand up to work on projects, reaching out even just to arrange coffee feedbacks, or coffee conversations. I've heard lots of examples like that as well. So start thinking your opportunity. Who needs to know about me? What problems I solve? What value I bring? Next week, we're going to talk more about strategies to really raise profile and influence those stakeholders. Don't forget, 10-day challenge starts next Monday. If you're keen, click on the link below, and we'd love to see you in that place as well. Take care, guys. Have a great week.